Well, that was quite amazing. Early morning and freezing cold. And I just looked out the window and there it was. A full rainbow. But it's just gone. Yeah, I've just caught it. And now it's almost gone. What a surprise. Okay, my friends, I'll continue on with the tour. A couple of days have passed now since I did this last bit, since I put this this lime and copper on these wounds. It got too dark the other day to finish, so I thought I waited till there's better light. It's not as late in the afternoon this time round, and this will give you an idea how this stuff has dried out. Doesn't look as green now, it's dried out, isn't it? Yeah, so ideally I'd probably need a little bit more of that, but that's a really good start. You know, that's probably all I need for now. And yeah, thinking about all this the last few days, this wine gold, the angle it's on, and I think it's, you know, slow poke to me, but I think I've only just realised the reason this thing is on such an angle is the flying foxes. I think it might be. Because I've noticed just recently that head is really twisted down. You know, it should be always trying to poke upwards. It should have a curve pointing upwards. But those flying foxes have pulled it almost so it's pointing downwards. So that's the problem. It's the flying foxes. The fruit bats. Sorry, I keep saying flying foxes. Some people mightn't understand what I'm saying. But yeah, the fruit bats. The damn things. And on concluding that, I've decided I really do have to get a steel bar up to protect that one. That branch. That's my next most promising branch. Because if I don't get a steel bar like this, heading up there to support it, I want to put a steel bar there and one there. And if I don't do it, I'm going to lose those branches. Those flying foxes are going to snap them off because they're just not thick and strong enough. And the flying foxes don't give a hoot. They're just as rough as anything with these trees. So it's a pity really, because these steel bars are expensive. And maybe I should go for timber. I don't know, but the steel works well. So I just had this steel lying around, so I used it. But if I buy it, I think they're about, you know, there's 2 steel bars on each of those posts actually. It's a thin steel. I think the damn things are about $40 each. So it's kind of not very feasible putting steel bars there to brace them for the amount of fruit I'm going to get. Oh, it'll still be worth it, I guess, but you know, the way I'm looking at it is it's my own fruit. It's homegrown, it's organic, but it makes things more costly, doesn't it? And that's the problem with all these fruit bats. And it's a conspiracy. Like, you know, some of you might laugh at this when you first hear about it, but it's definitely a conspiracy. Our government doesn't give a shit, you know, and they claim they're protecting us, protecting the bats. Well, that's just ridiculous, because there's just so many of them. They're doing it because they don't want us. Like, just consider it. Have a chuckle, but just consider it. They are letting all these fruit bats thrive. They've allowed all our forests to be chopped down and save the fruit bats and let them come into the cities, so they attack us by the thousands, and they don't care because they don't want us growing fruit. You know, our government sell our traders to the multinationals, and they just want us buying our food. They don't want us growing our own fruit. So they say they have to protect the fruit bats. Like, it's just outrageous. You know, I was out looking at Kipparing, like I was saying recently, and there was clouds of flying foxes. Clouds of them. There was just thousands. The sky was just full of them. And to think they just let so many of those damn things thrive in our cities, and they outcompete all the other birds. So all the other birds have to move on, or more than likely die off, while they just let hordes of fruit bats thrive in our cities. It's disgraceful, really. It's just another classic example of how our government is failing us. And they only work for the multinationals. They don't care about us little people. But anyway, I'm lucky. There can be hundreds of fruit bats will attack that silky oak when it flowers. But I find for most of the rest of the year there's only 4 or 5 tend to just hang around here all the time. Anyway, change the subject. So I'll give you a tour. Yeah, that's was my second most promising Hawaiian gold. And yeah, you can see it's not a bad lot of fruit, isn't it? So just hope. You see that wound now has dried out, that copper and lime has dried out now. Still a little bit damp down there at the base. Hopefully that'll save that tree, because look at the fruit. There's a good lot of fruit there. It's going to be a great tree if I can keep it alive. And oh yeah, I was saying just the other day, trying to tell you that I've got a Dwarf Avocado in amongst that clump of growth, and I wasn't sure if it's still alive. But where is it? There we go. Look at that. That's a branch of the Dwarf Avocado. Just one branch trying to poke up into the sunshine. Yep, that's the Dwarf Avocado. So it's still alive. All I have to do is clear all this growth and it'll turn into a nice tree. It just needs all this weedy growth to stop closing in on it, and that Madeira vine to stop growing all over it. So there you go. Yep, that's that there. That's the avocado. Okay. What else can I show you? Well, these Ladyfinger Bananas, they almost died because of that banana borer weevil. And I never got around to buying the traps. I was going to get a special pheromone traps, but you can't even get the right ones in Australia actually. You've got to buy them from South America, I found. And they're not too expensive, but it was quite a bother to do it. I never got around to doing it, and it was just more convenient to buy this permethrin, which I've been using lately, so I thought I'd give it a try. I've heard of people drenching banana clumps with poisons to kill that banana borer weevil, so I thought I'll try it with the permethrin, and it worked very well. And virtually the moment I drenched this soil around these bananas, the bananas just took off and started thriving again. Whereas before they were dying out, they were on their way out. Like that one there, that dead trunk there, that was almost as big as these. And it should have put out fruit, but it just shit itself. It was dying out. So yeah, I want to give it another dose of permethrin too actually, just to be extra sure. But yeah, it's not really all that toxic, and it kills. It's got a good kill. So yeah, even with some luck I might even get some bunches off these too. These two ladyfingers. Yeah, they've really taken off since I just made a use the normal ratio in a water bottle, in a watering can. One 8 litre watering can, watered both of these clumps, and it's really, I don't know if it's completely got rid of them, but it's really just clobbered those banana borer weevils, and saw results within days, even certainly within weeks. Everything, you know, new suckers started coming up, healthy new suckers started growing. It just really responded well. So anyway, yeah, there's a better view of that Hawaiian gold again. Well, that's the seeds from my good old Hawaiian gold. But see that fruit there, that's quite a different shape to the fruits of my Hawaiian gold. So you do get that, you get variation in the seeds. Some of these other fruit look very similar in shape, but time will tell, but they do appear to be slightly different, and that's why it's better for me to take mark cuttings off that big Hawaiian gold I got around the side there, the original parent plant, because the fruit on that is just superb on the original parent plant. And I've tried this fruit. I ate about 3. From memory, they were pretty good, but I really need to be eating more to really give it a taste test, and just give it more time. Because I remember my parent Hawaiian gold, when it first fruited, the fruit was pretty average there too. It wasn't all that special. It sort of took a while before I could really check the fruits, how they taste, and I don't know how you'd say it, or how the fruit just sort of comes of age or something. Because now it's very consistent. It's just very consistent, delicious taste on this old Hawaiian gold there. Whereas, but when it originally came up, the fruit wasn't consistent. Maybe that's the way to say it. The very first fruit on that tree actually was quite deformed. So I think it was lacking in trace elements. And yeah, what didn't taste all that special. But now it's delicious. So hopefully, you know, this may do some changes too. I'm thinking it may change a little in its early stages. And yeah, these are the my Thai dwarfs from seed again. Got a few fruit there, not as much as I was hoping, but I've got a lot of flowers, so that's a good sign. I think in next spring and summer, with some luck, it's going to put out a lot of fruit. So yeah, you might remember, I'll cut in and show you even, so I grew vegetables in here over spring and summer. Yeah, and you might find this interesting. This is my garden that I planted. It was only 5 weeks ago. You remember when I planted these? See, look at it, it's quite bushy now. It's grown very well. And there's been no insects. Had quite a nice vegetable patch, but it's just too shady now. It's too shaded out to grow vegetables there now. Actually, there's a few chives still growing there, still surviving, but pretty well everything else died out. Yeah, I got these papayas in pots. They're getting very pot bound now. They're getting quite old. Although if I can get the time to plant them out, they still could do all right. But I'm really leaving it late now. It's starting to get way too late. But we'll see. I would like to plant them out. If they get too old, it might be time to plant some new ones. I've still got plenty of seed, and I want to buy some seed actually. There's some really good strains for sale on eBay lately that I'd like to try out. Very heavy bearing red papayas. So they claim to be very true to type seed. I tend to have too much variation in these seeds. I got these seeds from Thailand, but there is a bit too much variation in it, which is a little disappointing. Anyway, yeah, you can see it's quite thick in here now, eh? And yeah, all this jungle is really closed in over on me. I've really got to chop all this back so the sunlight gets in better and the better airflow gets in around them all. But yeah, quite a few flowers. The flowers are actually, they're starting to die out now, the flowers, because it's getting very cold just lately. And those fruit, I don't think they'll be ripe until spring perhaps, because they should get a lot bigger. And by spring, hopefully I'll be getting quite a few fruit. Yeah, well, this is one of my more promising ones. It's putting out a fair bit of fruit. Old dwarf Thai again. Dwarf Thai bisexual red papayas. This one here is another Hawaiian gold, but it's been hit hard too many times by the fruit spotting bug. See, that top's looking quite sad. It was about to fruit in spring months ago, but it's just been hit so many times. Yeah, the papayas are all coming back. That one's got problems already. I'm pretty sure that's the fruit spotting bug again. Really needs, like every day I'm wasting is bad. That needed to be sprayed days ago. So I'm just wasting too much time here. See, look at that, there's trouble at the tip. That's more than likely the fruit spotting bug, I think. Oh, actually you can even see the marks there when I close up, can't you? And it hasn't really put out a flower since. So, look, actually right now it's probably getting too cold for the fruit spotting bug, but I do want to give it a spray of permethrin and copper just to be sure, just to make sure I get any that might be hiding and surviving the cold. So yeah, this is quite thick now, eh? Oh yeah, this one here, this papaya, is one of the more healthier of my new dwarf Thais, but it's looking very male at the moment. It's the most male looking dwarf Thai I've ever grown, actually. Yeah, it's interesting, just the last few days a lot of flowers have dropped. It's so cold, but they'll come back again in spring. But yeah, I'm hoping that's going to fruit too. I'll be surprised if it doesn't put out fruit. We'll just watch. And the heaviest fruiters, like this, is definitely staying. The ones that are maybe not fruiting enough might get chopped out. What have we got there? That's a bit like a fruit spotting bug attack. That hole, that's another sign. Oh there, look at that there, that's a definite sign. That crease on the stem, definite sign of fruit spotting bug. But it hasn't been too bad. It's like I sprayed 3 or 4 times over spring and summer with the permethrin, and I've really got on top of that fruit spotting bug problem now. Okay, and I see there's a lot of ants in there. Got an ant problem there, and look at that there. That's a branch of a black sapote. I've got a fairly big black sapote trying to survive there. It keeps getting smothered by the Madeira vine. So that's the black sapote leaves, and that's that damn Madeira vine. Looks a lot like the Ceylon spinach, doesn't it? And it's edible too, but just far more rampant. It's a real problem weed. This goes very nice in salads, but yeah, it keeps choking my black sapote here. But also this black sapote is getting killed by ants too. There's just so many ants. Well, I don't know if it'll ever kill it, but it really hurts it. It's giving it a lot of pain. So yeah, that badly needs to be cleared back. And a good spray of permethrin. Hard to get that to focus, isn't it? Trying to give you a look at all that mealy bug here. There's lots of mealy bugs and ants. Because the mealy bugs and ants work together. The ants bring the sugars. They feed the mealy bugs with the sugars. And both the ants, well, when you've got this many ants and mealy bugs, it really hurts the plants. Yeah, all this needs chopping back too badly. And yeah, you might remember out that way there used to be that huge ice cream bean. This massive tree, 20-year-old tree, and all gone now. And these papayas have really appreciated that. They appreciate the extra light and the better airflow, and I think even less root competition too. I think that big ice cream bean was sucking all the water from these papayas. You remember I had a vegetable garden in there over last winter and spring, early summer. This garden's still been doing very well, getting a lot of salad out of this. The mustard plant there, the perennial spinach, and the green mizuna has been going better in the warmer weather. But the red mizuna, well, I think it's mostly maybe lack of water perhaps, it's sort of getting a bit too dry, but it might be getting too warm for it too. It went really well over winter, and the green mizuna not so well. That's the green mizuna. But now that it's warmer, the green mitsuna's really taking off. And this red mizuna not doing as well. But yeah, I'm still getting a lot of salad out of this little patch. I've easily got hundreds of dollars worth of salad just out of this little stretch. Just picking leaves and letting the plants keep growing. Hundreds of dollars, all through winter. This grew all through winter. So yes, it's fed me so well. So many nice salads out of this. Oh yeah, now I've got some tomatoes. Got a couple of tomatoes that have come up. Again, it's too shady now to grow veggies. These papayas have grown pretty well, not too bad. They were too hungry for spring, early summer actually. They weren't looking that good, spring, early summer, but by late summer I managed to get them some dynamic lifter. So they were slow to respond, but now they've just taken off. They're looking much more healthy. They're putting out a fair bit of fruit. Yeah, that one's not bad either. Not a bad tree. You can see the dynamic lifter I've put down. That black stuff. Not enough again, really. And it's a pity I sort of put it close to the stem, because well, the trees weren't as big when I put it there too, but I just don't have enough. That's why I put it so close as well. Try and get better mileage out of the dynamic lifter. Ideally be better to put it further away from the trunks. Encourage the roots to reach out and find it. But I just had so little. But it's done the job. You know, it's grown them. They've grown quite nicely. And I might put a bit of sulphate of potash down soon over winter. I think I've heard the potash helps plants survive cold a little bit better, and it's better for flowering and fruiting. So, but I probably won't put any more dynamic lifter down until spring. But by spring, they'd like a good heavy dose. Really, that'd be the ideal for them. A good heavy dose of dynamic lifter in spring. See, even that one there is looking quite male, but see, it's got a fruit. They all, when they're young, they tend to look more male when they first start flowering, I've found. That should be a good tree, that one. I'm not sure how that's going to go. I've still got more to learn about this strain. That will be a very good tree though. It's hard to deny that. This one is flowering a lot, but no fruit yet. So hard to say what it's going to do. That one in there is flowering well and fruiting. So it should be good. Yeah, and again there's some minor fruit spotting bug damage in there. Probably too cold for them now, but they still will appreciate a spray of permethrin and liquid copper, I think. Yeah, oh yeah, and there's a mulberry tree in here. Again, trying to be, but all this stuff just keeps growing over and smothering them. Smothering the, as you can see, a higher branch of the black sapote. That'll be a real nice tree soon. By next spring, summer, if I can just clear all this stuff back and get on top of it. And this is my other Hawaiian gold with no rod in the stem. So it could turn out to be my most promising tree yet. My most promising younger tree. A lot of fruit on it. Yeah, doing quite well, I think. Quite happy with how it's going. And it's enjoying all this extra sunlight now that's getting in. Now the ice cream bean's been cut down. And I think it's getting better water. Yeah, and quite thick in here, isn't it? It's quite a thick clump of papaya now. A couple of these trees might come out yet. we'll just see next spring and summer. I've got that soursop there. I was hoping it'd get bigger and get up above the papayas. The papayas have kind of beat it for now anyway. And this is my other soursop. As you can see, it's throwing out quite a lot of new growth in just the last couple of weeks. It's about to start branching out actually, I think. So yeah, everything is responding with this warmer weather. So we'll just see. But yeah, I've only got 2 of these soursops in the ground that I raised from seed, and they're both quite shaded out now. They're both in this little patch here, but it's still healthy. Yeah, it really would appreciate some sunshine. Oh, I just noticed those little short leaves coming out of that papaya there. That's a real classic sign of fruit spotting bug. Oh yeah, yep. See the stems there getting hit hard by fruit spotting bug. Would really appreciate a spray. Yeah, that's fruit spotting bug damage. See the growing tip's almost dead. That too on that male, that's an Hawaiian gold male. Fruit spotting bug damage. Yeah. I could almost leave it this time of year though, because it's so cold. I find those fruit spotting bugs are not much of a problem when it's this cold. But I want to spray soon anyway, just to be sure. And yeah, these are another 2 ladyfingers that were dying because of the banana borer weevil. But again, I hit these 2 with permethrin. I watered the soil, and it seems to have, it's really smashed those banana borer weevil. It's killed them all, if not a lot of them, if not most of them. And these new suckers have come up again within like a week or 2 of watering the soil around these bananas with permethrin, and then good healthy suckers started coming up. So it's worked really well, the permethrin, watering that ground to kill the weevil in the soil. And again, I'd ideally like to do it again, just to be extra sure. Give them 1 more dose over winter actually, because it doesn't rain as much then, and you know, it can stay in the soil for months and potentially keep doing its job, killing the weevils. So I'll make extra sure I get those banana borer weevils out, and then look at buying those traps a bit further down the track, the pheromone traps. Yeah, but this has grown quite well, hasn't it? You can hardly see the papayas for the papayas. It's so thick, hey? And down the back here, that's my other soursop. That gets a tiny bit of sun. Definitely not enough, but we'll see. Things can change, so you know, perhaps when I thin these papayas out, they'll get a better lot of sun. They're in good health anyway. Both my soursops here. They're just getting a bit too shaded out. They're just kind of losing the race with the papayas. They're not growing fast enough. And the papayas are shading them out. Yeah. So yeah, that's the backyard. Oh yeah, I do want to show you this. Now I'll just get my breath. Yeah, see this here, this is a young ice cream bean, and that's where you see plant intelligence, a classic example of it. There was a young ice cream bean that has just thrown all these branches out. Now that the big ice cream bean that was out this way has been cut down, it's just suddenly seen an opportunity for light and to get extra light for growth, and it's just, well, it's thrown branches out, but it might have even leaned over as well. But it's just stolen this area off my papayas. It's just amazing. That's happened in just a few months. There was no trees growing above these papaya only 3 months ago, and now suddenly look at all this ice cream bean growth. But it's just grown totally on top of almost all my papayas. Just stolen all the light. It's just amazing how it's done that just so quickly. It's just seen an opportunity and it's just sent its branches out here, and perhaps it's leaned over as well and just taken everything, just taken the whole spot. So I've got to chop that out really soon. Like, these papayas aren't going to like that at all. They're just not getting any sun at all, hardly. That ice cream bean is just completely taken over. Well, that Hawaiian gold is still getting plenty of light, but not much else, you know. Nearly everything else has been shaded out. Oh, you can see there's a bit of that Madeira vine on it as well, but I must have got that because it's dying. I must have got that out by the roots, that one, around the side here. Because remember, to the side here it was just all growth. It used to be just thick jungle. Down that side it's all been cleared back. The ice cream being very exposed to the neighbours' houses now. But that's why I want to get my sour sops in, actually. And my advanced sour sops. Plant on that edge, pretty hard to see there, isn't it? But, yep, that ice cream bean has got to be chopped soon. Young ice cream bean. And now that the old one's out of the way, that tree's just taken off. It'll be a big ice cream bean in no time. Unless I chop it back. Okay, well that's the tour. Hope you found it interesting. Just so very overgrown. I've got an advanced mango tree in there actually. Oh, there's a leaf of it. There we go. One leaf, trying to survive. But if I can just clear all this stuff back, it'd be a very good mango tree actually. For a small tree it could bear quite a bit of fruit because it's got some age about it. Something I raised from seed again too, a very long time ago. I probably raised these from seed more than 20 years ago actually. Perhaps even 23 years ago. So yeah, it's got a few main branches, just smothered over by this Madeira vine. And, yeah, that's my plan again. Everything won't grow as quick now. You know, it's almost winter. And it's been a very cold autumn. Feels like winter already. So yeah, hopefully I can chop this back a bit and it won't be growing as quick. Give some more space for my papaya, better airflow. Actually, oh yeah, there's a lot of leaves falling off that black sapote. It is not happy. It's a good sure sign it's not happy. It really needs all that growth cleared off it. Anyway, yeah, I want to show you something at the front before I sign off. Yeah, it's something I got for nothing here. It's quite amazing. This is a Barbados Cherry that the birds have brought in. Well, it is quite a big seed too. It's quite amazing that the birds brought this in. Maybe even a flying fox brought the seed in actually, when I think about it. But this bush has been growing here for at least 8 years. It just sprouted up wild, just totally wild. I haven't taken any care of it at all, and it was just growing in the canopy, under the canopy, because if you remember, all this was jungle. All this front yard here was thick jungle, so it was just sort of like a piddly little plant, wispy, very little, getting very little sunshine, but surviving in the canopy in the shade. And it was almost that tall, I guess, while it was in the shade, but very not bushy at all, very open and reaching for sunlight. But since they cleared all these trees, I got the guys to clear all these trees for me, this thing has just really thickened up in just 3 months. It's becoming quite an interesting little tree. And I don't think these Barbados cherries get very big anyway, at the best of times. And I've got about 5 fruit off it already. It put out about 5 fruit. The last fruit came off only a few weeks ago, and really delicious fruit. Exceptionally good flavour. Like, I'm pretty sure I know where these plants have come from. There's a neighbour's house about 4 or 5 houses away, and they've got a hedge. They've made a hedge of these things instead of a front fence, and it looks really good too, actually. And that's where this fruit has come from, I think, where this tree has come from. A bird or a fruit bat has brought the seed over, and yeah, now it's really responding to the sunshine. Now it's finally getting some light, and it's very happy and bushing out really quickly. Yeah, I'm really happy with that, and the fruit is delicious. It's superb. I'll give you a pic of what the fruit looks like. Like it's not that perfectly smooth Barbados cherry. It's kind of ribbed. It's ribbed like an old pumpkin, and delicious, like really nice. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to be getting a lot of fruit off that. That's going to be fruiting like crazy in spring, summer, autumn. And I'll start feeding it up now too. I've never given it any fertiliser, but it's time to give it some flowering formulas in particular. And actually now that it's winter, the sun's heading up that way. It's moving over. So this is kind of shaded again now, whereas as summer comes it gets more full sun. The sun starts coming back. That's out to the west there. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's a bit shady again now, but it's still just very happy. It's really responding. And by next spring and summer it'll be getting more full sun again. So that's going to be a really good tree that I've just got from nowhere, basically. Virtually something for nothing. Okay, well that's a Norfolk Island pine, in case you're interested. Very rare pot pine that used to only grow in Norfolk Island. But we've got quite a few of these things in Australia now. That was a Christmas tree that I planted about 20 years ago. And, very beautiful pine. I didn't want them to cut that one down. There's two of them actually, which is it would have been better to have only one. They're growing too close together. But oh well, that's how it goes. Okay, my friends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.